Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the science that's all around us every single day.
Sounds fascinating.
You know, from the sunlight that we see to the food that we cook and even the way things move.
Yeah.
We actually have some really cool sources for this deep dive.
Oh, cool.
An Indian school website,
Okay.
an article on science in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and even a video from Scripps Research on the impact of chemistry.
That sounds like a lot to unpack. I'm excited.
Me too. Let's start with sunlight.
Go.
So the Indian school website mentions that sunlight is actually a mix of colors.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
That is. So we don't always see all those colors together, though, right?
Right.
Like when light passes through a prism, it gets separated into a rainbow, and that's called dispersion.
Exactly, like a natural prism,
Yeah.
That's how rainbows form in the sky after it rains.
That's amazing.
The website also talks about how the colors of India's national flag represent different things.
Oh, wow.
Saffron for courage, white for peace, green for fertility.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful symbolism.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It connects something like a flag to a scientific phenomenon like light dispersion.
Absolutely. And it's not just about rainbows either.
Oh, right.
Light dispersion is also why sunsets are so colorful.
Oh, yeah.
Like the atmosphere scatters different wavelengths of light, and that's what makes the sky appear red and orange and purple.
That's so cool. I never thought of it like that before.
It's amazing.
Well, let's move from the sky to the kitchen.
Okay.
This article that we have talks about how baking bread is basically a mini science experiment in itself.
Baking bread.
Yeah. It's all about the yeast.
Oh, yeah. I love fresh bread.
Yeah, me too.
What about the yeast?
The yeast turns sugar into carbon dioxide gas,
Uh-huh.
which is what makes the bread rise.
So that the little tiny air pockets that are forming in the dough.
Yeah, basically. And you know what else?
What?
That same gas is actually responsible for the bubbles in champagne.
Really? So the same science behind a loaf of bread
Yeah.
is behind a glass of champagne.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
That is pretty neat.
The article also mentions something called the Maillard reaction.
The Maillard reaction.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah, so that's a pretty complex chemical process, but it happens when you apply heat to food.
Oh, okay.
So it involves sugars and amino acids,
Wow.
and that's what gives foods like steak, bread, and roasted vegetables the delicious brown color.
That's amazing.
It's what creates those mouth-watering aromas.
So it's more than just cooking.
Right.
It's chemistry.
It's chemistry. There's so much chemistry going on in the kitchen.
It's really incredible when you think about it.
Absolutely.
Even something as simple as cooking involves all this intricate chemistry.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny you mentioned chemistry.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was learning about inertia in physics class.
It's inertia.
Yeah.
What's that?
You know, like an object at rest stays at rest and an object in motion stays in motion.
Oh, yeah.
Unless acted upon by an outside force. Our teacher actually demonstrated it by pulling a tablecloth out from under a set of dishes.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. Like all the dishes just stayed in place.
That sounds like a cool teacher.
It was the best.
Yeah.
It really brought the concept to life for me.
I bet. So speaking of physics,
Yes.
this article reminds us that we experience sound through vibrations. You know, those compressed air waves traveling to our ears?
Yeah. And here's a fun fact about sound.
Okay.
It travels faster through solids than liquids or gases.
Really? Why is that?
It all has to do with how closely packed the molecules are in a material.
Okay.
So the closer they are, the faster those vibrations can travel.
Interesting. So that explains why you might hear a train coming through the tracks
Yeah.
before you hear it in the air.
Exactly.
That's so cool. It all makes sense now.
Science is amazing, right?
It is. Now let's talk about magnets.
Magnets are so cool.
Yeah, this article points out how magnets attract certain metals like cobalt, nickel, and iron.
Right. And get this, our planet Earth actually acts as a giant magnet.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's true. That's why compass needles always point north.
I never thought of it that way.
They align with the Earth's magnetic field.
That's amazing.
Isn't it fascinating?
It is. Speaking of amazing things,
Yeah.
let's talk about water.
Water. What about it?
It's more fascinating than you might think.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So the article starts by talking about the simple composition of water.
Okay, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom.
Right, but then it gets into this incredible property of water.
Okay, what is it?
It's that ice floats.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Why is that, though?
Well, when water freezes, the molecules arrange themselves in a specific way,
Uh-huh.
and that makes ice less dense than liquid water.
And that's not just some random science fact.
Oh, no.
It's actually crucial for aquatic life.
How so?
Well, imagine if ice sank.
Oh.
Lakes and oceans would freeze from the bottom up.
Oh, wow. That'd be bad.
Right. It would be devastating for ecosystems.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's really important that ice floats.
It really is. Speaking of things that are crucial for life,
Yeah.
let's move on to the physics of motion.
Okay. So from a ball rolling down a hill
Yeah.
to a car speeding down the highway,
Right.
motion is everywhere we look, right?
Absolutely. And you know who can help us understand motion?
Who?
Sir Isaac Newton and his laws of motion.
Okay. What are those?
Well, his first law states that an object at rest tends to stay at rest,
Okay.
and an object in motion tends to stay in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, unless acted upon by an unbalanced force.
Oh, that's why we wear seatbelts in a car.
Exactly. Without that restraining force, your body would just keep moving forward,
Oh,
even when the car suddenly stops.
that's a good point. This article also talks about the ancient Indian scientist and mathematician Aryabhata.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he had some groundbreaking ideas about the Earth.
He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, he proposed that the Earth is a sphere
Okay.
that rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun.
Wow. That was a revolutionary concept in the 5th century CE.
I know. He even calculated the Earth's circumference.
Seriously?
Yeah, with remarkable accuracy.
Wow.
His work in mathematics and astronomy really laid the foundation for so many scientific discoveries that came after him.
That's incredible.
It is. Okay, let's shift gears a bit
Okay, where are we going now?
and talk about the impact of chemistry on our world.
Oh, this is where that Scripps research video comes in.
Exactly. It really highlights how chemistry is at the forefront of so many advancements that are shaping our future.
It's mind-blowing.
I was especially blown away by the progress being made in medicine.
Oh, me too. It seems like we're on the verge of developing universal vaccines.
Yeah. And therapies for neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's.
And even new approaches to tackling addiction.
It's amazing.
And it's not just medicine either.
What else?
Chemistry is playing a huge role in addressing some of the